The reason why I'm telling you not to do all the sums from the textbook is it's a matter of wastage of time. Okay, you just need to know the knack of doing a graph paper. Sorry, you just need to know the knack of drawing a graph, and that is more than enough. Because the only change that you will experience in the exam is the numbers. The only change which you will experience in the exam is related to the numbers. Otherwise, the technique of drawing a graph remains the same for each and every question. Okay, so that is the reason, children, I'm telling you, don't try to solve all the sums from the textbook. You learn two sums from me, practice two sums at home, and that is more than enough, even before you go for the final examination. Okay, so let us start with the first question where we have to construct a frequency polygon. Children, first I will teach you what is a frequency polygon, how to construct it for a given continuous class interval. Okay, here is the table, children. The class intervals are given to you 0 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 16, 16 to 20, and 20 to 24. You all must agree that the given class interval is what? Continuous class interval. Now for each and everything, I'm not going to repeat, children. In the last and the in the last and the last to last session, I have already taught you all the basic concepts. So now onwards, I'm not going to tell you what is continuous, what is discontinuous, what is class mark, what is lower limit, what is upper limit. I'm not going to repeat anything. Okay. Now, the frequencies for each and every class interval is given to you. 4, 7, 10, 15, 11, 6. They are asking us to create a frequency polygon. Okay, a frequency polygon. So before I start with a frequency polygon, children, let me ask you, how does a polygon look like? How does a polygon look like? You all know how a polygon looks like, because in class 9 itself we had learned what a polygon looks like, isn't it? Children, a polygon is a rectilinear figure which is closed from all the sides. It is known as what? A polygon, isn't it? Say for example, children, I am drawing a closed figure here, A, B, C, D, E. Can I call this shape as a polygon? I can call the shape as a polygon. You know what is the reason behind it? Because it is a closed figure, or it is a closed rectilinear figure which is made up of straight lines. Did you notice all the sides AB, BC, DC, ED, and AE all are what? Straight lines. So these kind of closed rectilinear figures made up of straight lines are known as what? Polygons. Okay, this is something which we have learned in the chapter named rectilinear figures. I hope you all remember it. So I repeat, what is the meaning of a polygon? It is a closed rectilinear shape or a rectilinear figure which is made up of straight lines. I hope I am clear. Which is made up of straight lines. It is a closed rectilinear shape which is made up of straight lines. This is the meaning of a polygon. I'm going to erase this. Now they are asking us to draw a frequency polygon. Children, what they are asking us to draw? A frequency polygon. Children, frequency polygon. All this while you have been learning what is a polygon, isn't it? But how come they are asking us to draw a frequency polygon? What does it mean? And how will it look like? That is what I'm going to first of all discuss. So I'm going to give you a preview. I repeat, I'm going to give you a preview of how the frequency polygons which are going to construct in future are going to look like. Okay, how it is going to look like. So once you have a preview of a frequency polygon, you will keep that preview in your mind, and accordingly you will construct the frequency polygon. Okay, so that rough figure should be clear in your mind. Keeping that rough figure in your mind, you're going to do the actual frequency polygons on the graph paper. Okay, let me tell you how a frequency polygon is going to look like. Children, For a frequency polygon, the base will always be the x-axis. I repeat, for a frequency polygon, the base of the frequency polygon will always be the x-axis. If you want, you can just make a note of this. Okay, on the rough side of your page, you can just make a note of this. For a frequency polygon, the base will always be the x-axis. All right. Then, each and every vertex, children, each and every vertex that you are going to connect with line segments, all these are the different frequencies. Say, for example, this is F1, this is F2, this is F3, this is F4. What am I trying to represent with F1, F2, F3, F4? The frequencies which you are going to represent for each and every class interval. Children, I am going back to the table given to us. Did you notice the class intervals are mentioned here, 0 to 4? It has got a frequency of 4. Then did you notice the second class interval 4 to 8? It has got a frequency of 7. Again, a class interval of 8 to 12, which has got a frequency of 10. So all these are the different frequencies which you have to represent for each and every class interval given to us. All right. So children, when you are drawing the frequency polygon, these are the points which will be representing the frequencies given to you. Okay. These are the points which will represent the frequencies given to you. Now, how to join these frequencies with each other? Simple, children. You just need to take the ruler and connect F1 to F2, F2 to F3, F3 to F4. F3 to F4. Connected all the points? Connected all the points. Which are the points that you're connecting here? Remember, children, the points should be the frequencies for each and every class interval. I repeat, the points which you are connecting on the graph paper should be what? The frequencies. Okay? Don't forget. Frequencies for each and every class interval. Are you all paying attention? Nana, Yogita, Ananya, Pooja, everyone? All right, Anisha, clear? Fine. Now, children, if till here everything is fine, let me ask you a question. Children, polygon means what? It should be a closed figure. Just now I said, no, a polygon should be a closed figure which is made up of straight lines. Children, here F1 to F2 is a straight line. F2 to F3 is a straight line. F3 to F4, again it is a straight line. But children, and even the x-axis, what is it? It is a straight line. But can I say that this is a closed figure? It is not a closed figure. And the reason is this portion, children, see this? This portion is open. And even this portion is what? Open. So since the shape which I have drawn with the help of straight lines is open on two of its sides, isn't it? Hence, I cannot call this as a polygon. Okay. For the time being, I cannot call this as a polygon. But you have to draw a frequency polygon. So how can you convert this shape into a frequency polygon? How can I close this figure? That is the last task which you have to perform. Okay. Now let me teach you how to close the frequency polygon. Listen to this carefully. Children, this point, the first frequency and the last frequency. Which was the first frequency which I represented here? F1. Which is the last frequency which I have represented? F4. This F1 should be connected to a point on the x-axis, which happens to be the midpoint of, the previous class interval. Just make a note of this. Even if you don't understand, it's fine. Okay, because I'm going to show everything on the graph paper. This is just a rough work. You just make a note of this. Whatever you're not understanding, it's not at all a problem. I'll make it clear, children. So you are connecting this F1 to a point on the x-axis, and that point on the x-axis happens to be what? It happens to be the midpoint of the previous class interval. Just note it down. I'll explain it later. Prajwal, did you copy? Yeah. And this point, F4, children, this point, F4, that means the last frequency which you plotted on the graph paper has to be connected on the x-axis in such a way that this point on the x-axis happens to be the midpoint of the next class interval. The next class interval, I just note it down. Midpoint of previous class interval, midpoint of next class interval. You will understand once I do the graph. Okay? You will understand it, children. Don't worry. I'll teach you everything in detail. Noted everything, Nana?
Yes, sir.
Devaditya, Ayan, Anisha, Joshua, everyone? Yogita, noted it so far? All right. So now I have a question for you. Children, listen to this question very carefully. Was I able to close the polygon? Sorry, close the rectilinear figure? I was able to close the rectilinear figure once I did F1 to this point, and then I did F4 to this point. Is it looking like a closed polygon, children, or a closed geometrical shape? Yes. So now this has got converted into what? A frequency polygon. Now it has got converted into a frequency polygon. You all must be having a curiosity to know why it is named as frequency polygon. It is known as frequency polygon just because this polygon was made with the help of the different frequencies given to us in the table, isn't it? Without plotting these frequencies, would you be able to create this polygon? No. So whatever frequencies were given to you in the table, using those frequencies, you started connecting all the points and then converted it into what? A polygon. Hence, it is named as what? A frequency polygon. Is that clear? Once you understand the background story of any given topic, children, then things become very easy. So even if somebody asks you tomorrow why it is known as frequency polygon, this is the answer. It is made up of, or it is made up by connecting all the frequencies together, which was given to you in the table. All right. Joshua, Ayan, Avilash, please switch on the camera. Now, for this given table, we are going to draw the frequency polygon. Okay, ready? Fine, children. So whenever you draw a graph, what are the two important factors, children? The two important factors are the x-axis and the y-axis. I believe you all are ready with the graph paper. Huh? Online students, you all have a graph paper, no? All right. So children, start drawing the x-axis and the y-axis. Everyone. This is your x-axis. Okay. And this is your y-axis. This is your y-axis. Start drawing it. I'll label it here. This is x-axis and this is your y-axis. Children, since the screen is small, I will take a little time to adjust all the points on the graph paper properly. Okay, so kindly give me that time to plot everything. Okay. X-axis and y-axis is drawn. All right. Children, what is the first class interval here? What is the first class interval here? 0 to 4. Second class interval is 4 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 16, 16 to 20, 20 to 24, isn't it? So children, this is the point which is called as the origin. Wherever the x-axis and the y-axis meet with each other, that is known as what? the origin. Now we have already learned it, no? In coordinate geometry, so many sums we had done. Now children, 0 to 4. So the first class interval will be labeled here. This is your 0 and this is your 4. Children, that O which I have represented here is the origin. Okay, no need to show origin in your graph paper. Just write 0 to 4. That is the first class interval. What is the second class interval? It is 4 to 8, isn't it? It's 4 to 8. So here you will mention 8. This is your 8. The next one is 8 to 12. So 12 here. Next one is 12 to 16. 16 here. Next one is 20. So 16 to 20 here. Then 20 to 24 over here. Is that the end to it? 20 to 24, isn't it? Children, I would request you to show one more point. I'll tell you the reason later. Just show 28 also. Okay. Just to show 28 also. 0 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 16, 16 to 20, 20 to 24, and 24 to 28. Am I right, children? Hemant, what is the doubt? No doubt? Sarah? Ronia? It's clear, no, children? I am just 20. 22 is there? No, there is no 22. It's 20 to 24. No, Hemant? Isn't it? That is why I plotted 20, 24, and 28. Now, children, please pay attention over here. Everyone, please pay attention. Just a minute. 0 to 4. Yeah. Pay attention, huh? So if you notice, 0 to 4 is what? The first class interval. 4 to 8 is what? The second class interval. 8 to 12, third one. 12 to 16, 16 to 20, 20 to 24, 24 to 28. All the class intervals are represented on the x-axis. And this is a general rule that you're going to follow throughout the graphs. Okay? Throughout this topic, you are going to follow this. On the x-axis, you will be representing what? The class intervals. Okay. Now, before I go ahead, I want to tell you one important point, children. And that point is, if the given class intervals are discontinuous and still they ask you to draw the frequency polygon, your first step should be converting the discontinuous class intervals into continuous class intervals by using adjustment factor. I hope you all remember. We learned it yesterday also, isn't it? If the class intervals given to you in the table is discontinuous, your first step will be to convert those class intervals into continuous class intervals. And then only you will start representing it on the x-axis. Now, in this case, I was not having any tension about it. Why? Because the class intervals provided to us was already continuous. So I never had to convert it, isn't it? So that is why without any tension or a second thought, I directly represented it on the x-axis. But you should always keep this in your mind that the class intervals should be continuous. In case they give you discontinuous, you have to convert it into continuous. I'm repeatedly telling you because even after teaching you 100 times, you may end up doing this mistake. Okay? Don't do it. Now, children, so wait a minute. All right. Now, on the y-axis, how to represent the numbers. Children, when you have to represent numbers on the y-axis, okay, I will teach you one important trick. An important trick, because many students get confused. I should be giving what value to the points on the y-axis. A very simple logic I'll teach you, children. See the maximum value which is given to you in the frequency column. What is the maximum value? The maximum value is what? 15. You all agree with that? The maximum value is what? 15. So children, if the maximum value is 15, it means on this y-axis, this is your y-axis and your y-axis is ending over here. You need to accommodate all the frequencies on the y-axis, isn't it? You need to accommodate all the frequencies. In this case, you have to accommodate 4, 7, 10, 15, 11, and 6. But children, you should be very smart and wise while you are giving the values on the y-axis. At times what happen, you will give values to the y-axis, but you will not be able to accommodate 15 on the y-axis because there was no planning in doing it. Okay, since there was no planning in giving values to the y-axis, you will come across such problems. So how can you evade or get rid of such problems? By doing proper planning. So how the planning has to be done? You should be first of all figuring out, or you should be first of all identify the biggest value that you have to represent on the y-axis. What is the biggest value? It is 15, isn't it? There is no more value beyond 15. Whatever values you have, it is always lesser than 15, isn't it? So keeping the highest value in your mind, you have to plot the points on the y-axis. So children, each centimeter can be taken as how many units? Can anybody give me a suggestion? 2. All right. So on the graph paper which I have taken, how many points are there? It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 and 15. Oh, perfect 15. Isn't it? I have taken perfect 15 points on the y-axis. So is it okay? I'm asking you a question to you children. Is it okay if I take each centimeter on the y-axis as 1 unit or 1 frequency? Yeah, there is no problem in doing that. Okay, children, understand the logic very clearly from me. Then it becomes very easy. No matter what numbers or what frequencies are given to you, you will just do it like this. Okay, so in this case, I am taking 1 centimeter on the y-axis as what? 1 unit. So I will write it here. Y-axis, each centimeter is equal to what? 1 unit or 1 frequency. Okay, or 1 frequency. Done. Now we are ready to go with the frequency polygon. Now children, before that, let me just write it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, the last one. Okay. Now, 0 to 4 class interval has got what frequency, children? It has got a frequency of 4, isn't it? Where is your 0 to 4 class interval? Over here, isn't it? This is your 0 to 4 class interval, right? I will use a different color, 0 to 4. Now, 0 to 4 has got a class interval, sorry, a frequency of 4. All right. So children, where is your 4 coming? Over here. This is your 4, isn't it? Now, what I will do is, for your reference, I will just highlight this. I'll just highlight this. The next thing which you have to do is plot the point on this green colored line. How you are supposed to plot a point on the green colored line? Children, we are doing this, okay? I'm going to plot F1. In the rough diagram, I had shown you F1. I am going to plot that, okay? So listen to me very carefully. Children, the rule of frequency polygon says you have to plot the point exactly in the middle of the class interval. So can I say this is exactly the middle of the class interval? 0 to 4, and this will be exactly the middle of the class interval. I'm teaching you how to show the first frequency on the graph paper. Can you do it, Sean? Exactly in the middle, children. Exactly in the middle, you show the point. And if you want, you can just represent number 4 over here. This is just for your reference. Okay, you're showing the frequency equal to 4. Easy. The next one, children. The next class interval is what? 4 to 8. What is the corresponding frequency? It is 7. Where is 7? Where is the second class interval? Over here. Isn't it? This is your second class interval. What is the corresponding frequency? It's 7. So I can draw or I can highlight the green colored line over here. Makes sense? Now, how to show the dot or the point for the second frequency, which is 7? Exactly in the middle over here. Be very precise, exactly in the middle. You should be representing the point and just mention 7 over here. This is just for your reference. Okay. In the exam also, you can do this, children. No problem in doing this. Okay. Now, let's do for the next one. What is the class interval? 8 to 12. What is the corresponding frequency? It is 10. So, children, this is the next class interval, 8 to 12. What is the corresponding frequency? 12, isn't it? Where is 10 or 12? 10, no? 10. 10, no, Rodia? See this? It's 10. Okay. So, where is 10? Over here. So, I will first of all highlight that portion for 10. Now, where will I represent the dot? Over here in the middle. And then I will write a 10 and put a circle so that it is understood. For the third class interval, the corresponding frequency was what? 10. Easy. For the next class interval, children, which is 12 to 16. Which is 12 to 16. What is the corresponding frequency? The biggest one, which is 15, right? Yeah. Let's do it. Where is 15? Over here. The next class interval is 12 to 16. And the frequency is what? 15 over here. And where will you plot the point? In the middle over here. And just write 15. Easy. Understood? Are you all doing with me? Ananya? You're doing with me, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The next class interval is what? 16 to 20. And the frequency is 11. So children, 16 to 20. And the corresponding frequency is what? 11. Where is 11? Over here. Okay, let me highlight it. And then in the middle, I will put a dot. You can also do the same thing in the exam, children. Highlight that portion first, okay, with a marker, and then put a dot in the middle. Okay. So what was the frequency here? 11. Now let's do it for the last one, which is 20 to 24. And the frequency is what? 6. 20 to 24. This is 20 to 24. And the frequency is what? 6. 6, 6, 6, 6 over here. Okay. And in the middle, I will put a dot. And I will write 6 over here. Easy to understand? All right. Now, children, you have plotted all the frequencies F1, F2, F3, F4, and F5 on the graph paper. Take a ruler, children, I repeat, take a ruler and connect all the frequencies. I repeat, take a ruler and connect all the frequencies. That means connect from 4 to 7. 4 to 7. It's not perfect. Still, you can understand, no? First, you connect 4 to 7. Okay. Then you connect 7 to 10. It's not perfect, children. Try to understand. With this pen tablet, no, it's a little difficult. Okay. But you can do it very easily using a pencil and a scale. Then the next one, 10 to 11. Yes. Oh, 15 is there. Oh, where is it? Oh, acha. Here, no, thank you. Let's do it. 10 to 15. Do it perfectly, okay? Not the way I'm doing. I'm managing, but it's quite difficult, children, with this pen tablet. The next one is 15 to 11, like this. Okay. Then the next one is 11 to 6. Done? Connected all the points? Okay. Children, you have connected all the frequencies. See, this is how exactly I had shown, in the rough figure. I first connected all the dots containing the frequencies. That is exactly what I have done over here. Now, children, after doing this, what was the last point which I discussed with you? That the polygon is not yet created. Why? See, children, the same thing which I showed you here. This space is vacant. This space is vacant. Then how come you can call it as a frequency polygon? Still, it is not closed. So somehow we have to close it. Now, children, when I was teaching you the rough figure, I told you something. Midpoint of the previous class interval, midpoint of the next class interval, and I told you, don't worry, I'm going to teach you in detail, right? So here we go, children. I want to desperately close this polygon or close this shape. How is that possible? Children, take the first frequency. In this case, which was the first frequency? 4 was the first frequency, F1, isn't it? Take that point and connect it to the midpoint of the previous class interval. Children, this point 4 belongs to which class interval? 0 to 4. What is the previous class interval to 0 to 4? It may be -4 to 0. Do you all agree with that? The previous class interval would be what? -4 to 0. Do you all agree with this? -4 to 0. Because for each class interval, there is a gap of how much? 4, isn't it? So the previous class interval will be what? -4 to 0. It's a matter of common sense, no, children? -4 to 0, 0 to 4, 4 to 8, and it goes on in that sequence. The rule says that you have to connect this point 4 to the midpoint of the previous class interval. And that is what I made you write here. The midpoint of the previous class interval. So for 0 to 4, -4 to 0 was the previous class interval. Wherever is the midpoint, children? Somewhere over here is the midpoint. To that point, you need to connect the line. That means from 4, draw a straight line which will get connected to this midpoint of -4 to 4. Understood? -4 to 4. Children, am I clear with this? -4 to 4. And children, what about the last point or F6? No, this was F5, isn't it? The last frequency. The last frequency should be connected to the midpoint of the next class interval, which is coming somewhere over here. Children, 20 to 24 was the last class interval, isn't it? So what is the next class interval after the last one? Is 24 to 28. And where is the midpoint of 24 to 28? Somewhere over here, isn't it? Children, are you all getting me? Now, is it clear what I had mentioned here? Midpoint of the previous class interval, midpoint of the next class interval. Naina, Mayur, Partha, everyone. Joshua, Dikshit, Avilash, Terence, Dane. Is it clear? Rehan?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Naina, is it clear? All right. Yeah. Children, now can I say the frequency polygon is created? Yeah. Why can I say that a frequency polygon is created? Because I was able to close the rectilinear figure, isn't it? So the last part is always the closing part. And how do you close it? Take the first frequency F1 and draw a straight line to the midpoint of the previous class interval. Take the point F5, that means the last frequency, draw a straight line connecting the midpoint of the next class interval. Next class interval, children. The word next I am using just because I don't want to use any complicated word. Next class interval means I know the last class interval given to you was 20 to 24. So the next class interval coming after the last one, that is 20 to 24, 24 to 28. I want to use very simple language while teaching children. That is why I am using it. Okay, is that clear for all? Anisha, Ananya, everyone. Dikshit, Dane, Avilash, Terence, keep the camera on. Rehan,
Yeah.
it's clear? Offline students, it's clear? Shall we do one more? One more graph. All right, here it is. You have to construct a frequency. Nana, you have any doubt, Nana?
Oh, no, sir.
No doubt. Okay. Pooja, Ayan, Aaron, Mayur, no doubt? Okay, okay, fine. Asra, Devaditya, Yogita, am I teaching you properly, children? Everything in detail? Things are getting into your head, no? Fine, children. Let's do the next one. Now, there is a reason why I took this question. Exactly. The reason is the class intervals are what? Discontinuous class intervals. Did you notice this? 10 to 14, 15 to 19, 20 to 24, and so on. So what you have to do first? You have to convert the class interval into continuous class intervals, isn't it? Don't waste time in doing calculations in your book. Why? Children, if you do everything in the book, you will consume a lot of time. And I told you, you want to you have to score easily 4 or 5 marks in 5 minutes. How can you utilize those 5 minutes and score 4 to 5 marks? By avoiding calculations on the paper and doing more of calculations in your mind, isn't it? So children, let's find the adjustment factor without wasting time. Is the lower limit minus upper limit divided by 2. Lower limit is 15 minus upper limit is 14 divided by 2. 1 by 2, which is equal to what? 0.5. Terence, can you please respond? Are you there in the class?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 0.5. Now, children, let's write down the continuous class intervals. Eamon, what should I do? Tell me. Converting 10 to 14 into continuous class interval. What should I do? Adjustment factor is already found. Hemant. Yesterday only I taught you. There is no gap of even a day. Yeah, tell me. Average of. Go, man. Subtract, isn't it? Yeah. So 10 minus 0.5 is what? 9.5. 14 plus 0.5 is what? 14.5. A month. You're not touching your book at home. That's the problem. Okay. 15 to 19 children. So 15 minus 0.5 is what? 14.5. 19 plus 0.5 is what? 19.5. 20 to 24. 20 minus 0.5 is 19.5. 24 plus 0.5 is 24.5. Dane, are you listening to me?
Yes, sir. I'm writing this.
Okay. Ronia, the last class interval would be? And they? 29.5. Okay. 29.5 to what? 34.5. Excellent. Now, will there be any change in the frequencies? No, children. Same frequencies you will copy paste. 5, 8, 12, 9, and 4. Okay. Now, let's start drawing the graph. Okay, let's start drawing the X and Y axis. Everyone, do it. So this is your Y axis. And this is your X axis. This is your Y axis. Okay. Now, children, we have to represent the class intervals on the X-axis as usual. No change in that. So 9.5 to 14.5, 14.5 to 19.5, it should go on like that. Right? Children. Now, did you notice here? Did you notice here? They have directly started with 9.5 to 14.5. They haven't started from 0 to 14.5, or they haven't started from 0 to 9.5, isn't it? We don't have any clue what is happening from 0 to 9.5 or 0 to 14.5. So keep that in mind, because in the previous question, we had started with 0 to 4, isn't it? So that is why we had started from this point. From this point, we had started writing 0 to 4. But in this case, we cannot do that because we have no clue what is happening in the class interval 0 to 9.5. Right? So children, in that case, what you are supposed to do, okay? What you are supposed to do. Very simple it is. You will write 0 here. The first class interval is starting from where? 9.5, isn't it? And here, in the for the first centimeter, you will just represent 9.5. Just represent 9.5. As simple as that, children. Same logic you are going to do, or you are going to use in class 10 also. Same logic. If you don't have any clue about what is happening in the first class interval, which is 0 to 9.5, just represent it on the first centimeter. Okay, this is the first centimeter. This is the first centimeter. Just represent that first centimeter as 0 to 9.5. But please don't ignore the value 0. If you ignore that value 0, that means you are doing something wrong. Because you can't directly start from 9.5 on the x-axis, isn't it? Now you will always start from 0 and then go further on the x-axis. So 0 to 9.5 is mentioned. Now, the next thing, children. The first class interval where we are actually going to represent the frequencies is what? 9.5 to 14.5. So what I will do in the next centimeter or in the next block, I will write 9.5 to 14.5. After 9.5 to 14.5, which is the next class interval, 14.5 to 19.5, which I will write here, 19.5. Then what? 24.5. Yes? No. We are continuing, no? It's a continuous class interval, right? 24.5. Now, after 24.5, what? 29.5. After 29.5, what do we have? 34.5. 34.5. And I will personally recommend you to write one additional class interval, that is 34.5 to 39.5. Are you getting it, children? And now you know why am I adding that extra class interval? Because I have to join the last frequency to the midpoint of the next class interval. For that purpose, I am doing it here. Okay? Fine, children. Now, we have to decide what the frequency should be. Children, what is the maximum frequency to be shown? 12, isn't it? So what I will do on each centimeter on the y-axis. I repeat, each centimeter on the y-axis will be taken as one frequency. All right. So here I will plot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now that is enough. No, 12 is the maximum. Yeah. Let's do it, children. For the first class interval 9.5 to 14.5, what is the frequency? 5. Very good. So where is 5? Over here. So children, this is where you have to plot it. Okay. Here is your class interval. Here is your class interval 9.5 to 14.5, and the corresponding frequency is 5. So somewhere over here. Now, children, where is the midpoint? Over here. Yeah. Plot it. And what is the value? 5. Isn't it? The second one, children. 14.5 to 19.5. How much is the frequency? It's 8. Where is 8? 8 is over here. 8 is over here. And where is the midpoint? Over here. Done? Easy? The next one, 19.5 to 24.5. What is the frequency? 12. Isn't it? So children, where is 12? 12 is over here. Plot the midpoint, everyone. Done? The next class interval is what? 24.5 to 29.5, and the frequency is what? 9. So children, where is 9? 9 is over here, over here. And where is the midpoint? Over here. Plotted it. Okay. The last one is what? 4. The last one is 4. So where is 4? 4, 4, 4, 4. 4 is over here. And the midpoint is over here. Okay. Now, can you please connect all these points or all these frequencies with each other using a scale and a pencil? Huh? Like this. Okay, children, I will use free hand to connect it. Okay, please don't bother. Okay, like this, like this, like this. Connected everything. Huh? Feeling very tired. Started at 6. Oh, yeah, connected. Children, have we prepared the polygon? No, we haven't prepared the polygon, isn't it? Have we connected the first frequency, which is 5, to the previous class interval? No. Have we connected the last frequency to the next class interval? No. So let's do it. Children, for 9.5 to 14.5, which is the previous class interval, is 0 to 9.5. Somewhere over here, you will get the midpoint of 0 to 9.5. So take the 0.5 and connect it to the midpoint of 0 to 9.5. Then take the 0.4 and connect it to the midpoint of the next class interval, which is 34.5 to 39.5. And your frequency polygon is done. Children, was I able to teach you properly? Huh? Anybody having a doubt? No, right? Children, at home, you just practice one sum based on this. Not today, because nobody is going to practice it today. Because you have got that confidence that I can do it. Maybe after 3 or 4 days, maybe on a Sunday, you just take out a question from the textbook and draw one graph. Once you're done with this, the day before the exam, you don't have to touch these chapters, isn't it? Be it coordinate geometry, be it statistics, even if you don't practice it, you can directly go for the exam and solve it, because we have done so many sums in the class, right? Okay, so just don't keep these 2 chapters for the end of the or the eve of your examination. All right. So is that enough for the day? Tomorrow we will have 1.5 hour session and we'll be continuing with the topic. Tomorrow, children, this is the topic which I'm going to teach you. Histogram. Very easy, children. Histogram. After teaching you histogram, I'll be teaching you what? Drawing a frequency polygon. Drawing a frequency polygon and a histogram together in the same graph paper. All right. First, we will be learning histogram, and then we will be learning how to draw a frequency polygon and a histogram together in the same graph paper. All right. So please come for the class on or before time and cooperate. Okay. Thank you so much, children. Anisha, come for offline class, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then Devaditya, all of you. Whoever can come for offline, please do come.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Children, one more important message. Tomorrow I have got a duty. Sorry, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all the 3 days I have got duty in school. So I may get a little late to come. But I'll be sending you the exact timing while in school itself. So tomorrow's class may be at 6 o'clock or it can be at 6:30 also. Just wait for my message and then you come down. Okay. Yeah. Bye, children. Good night. Thank you so much for joining. Good night. Good night. Take care. Bye. God bless you all. Bye. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Thanks for coming. Huh?
Thank
Bye,
you, sir.
Naina, Devaditya, Joshua, Dane. Joshua,
Boss.
are you up?